Okay, so I'm going into the address, splash screen, clicking go, and the program will go through a couple of machinations to get through to the server. That's so that you can save things, which is obviously going to be quite useful. So we've got these movable windows on the side. One is a classic Gateball sort of view with the timer and the players and the scores. Another is what the camera can see. So on the left hand side you've got a tactical view, that sort of overhead whiteboard type view, and on that there's this camera that you can move around, and as you move that camera around it shows you what things look like in 3D. So you get a nice combination of both views. There's a little reporting window here that'll tell you if a ball has gone out or gone through a hoop, and there's this window here which allows you to do a couple of little changes. The most important one is this 2D aim line, which I'll explain now. So the game starts off with ball number 1 being the active ball. So you can make a particular ball active by just clicking on it. So if I click on there, it means that the ball number 2 is active. If I click on that one, it means that ball number 1 is active. But the ball will always be shot at this target. So if I move this target around, you can see that the little line, the trajectory line on the 3D view, is changing. And this is what this 2D aim line does as well. So if I switch that on, you can see that line going from the number 1 ball to the target. Now to move a ball before you shoot it, which is only what you're going to do at the beginning I suppose, is you just drag it. So you just drag the ball, and you can see that as it crossed the line there, it flagged that it crossed the line. That doesn't matter, it doesn't do anything unless I actually say it's out. If I say it's out, it will reposition it 10 centimeters off the lawn. So I'm going to play this first shot, try and get it through the hoop. So that's sort of the shot that I'm going to take. If I press S to T, then that means strike at a target, and that will give me the sort of the player view of what that looks like. I can change the depth of focus on that. So there's quite a couple of things I can do before I hit the stroke button. Now the other thing that you can do is change the parameters of the players. So player number 1, for example, if I click on that, I can give that player a name. But most important thing is I can define their errors, and I know that my error in hitting a croquet ball is about 0.7 of a degree on average. So 1 degree seems a reasonable thing to put in there. I know that my error on distance is more like 8%, so it's going to be a bit different for Gateball, of course, because the balls are different size and the mallet's different and the lawn's different and everything. So that's something you just have to determine by doing it empirically. But then it means that from now on, that's my characteristic, and that's great because it means that you can now build a team with players of all sorts of different standards. So let's play this first shot, stroke, and the ball goes through the gate, and that is reflected here. It said ball exited gate 1, and that means that I can score it. Now I can score it either by pressing this green button here, and that will increase that to 1, or I can just click on the number up here. So I can go 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5. If I make a mistake and need to go back, I just hold the shift key and click. So I've got a continuation shot. Ball number 1 is still the active ball. Let's put it in front of the hoop. I know that's probably not a very good thing to do, but that's what I'll do. And it's fallen up a bit short because, you know, my distance is not perfect. So let's now select player number 2, and it's not shooting at that target. First of all, it needs to be moved into the starting area, and let's shoot it at the hoop. Let's go striker to target so that we can see down the line, and let's take this shot. It goes through, increase the score for player number 2, and I think what we'll do now is we'll take a pot shot at ball number 1. So I put the target there, going through there, strike at a target. Let's move the camera, which I'm going to do by just dragging it along so I can actually get a really good view of that. And that looks like a pretty good angle to me. In fact, I might just move it just slightly to the right, because there, like that. So I'm sort of hedging my bets. I might get the hoop. All right, let's take that shot. Stroke, bang. Oh, and I hit the other ball through the hoop. I don't know what happens there. That's quite interesting. But let's assume that it is that what I need to do is now do a spark. Now I have to remember how to do that. So yeah, so there we go. I've hit R1, so I take a touch on red 1. So I click this button here, and what that will do is it will place my it will place the balls correctly. Now if I change this target angle, you can see how it's keeping ball number 2 completely fixed and only changing the rotation of ball number 1. So this means that I can, when I hit spark, ball number 2 will stay where it is. So if I hit spark, then ball number 2 stays where it is, and red goes the prerequisite distance. And now I'm back to making a stroke again. So that's how you do the spark. That's how you change the scores. I think that's probably enough to get going. One of the things I would say is if something goes completely wrong, you can, and you don't seem to be able to rescue it, then stopping all balls will often help, because sometimes the balls just keep rotating. We won't cover game time and shot clocks and things at the moment, because I think just getting those basic operations. Now I think there is a bit of a bug if you hit the ball out really hard. So if I take this shot here, if I move that target over to there and take the shot, then hopefully the fence will stop it from going out, but sometimes it doesn't, and that of course means you can't retrieve the ball. But I'll try and put an extra guard on that fence rail there. All right, well I think that's a good introduction, so I'll see how you go with that.